One of the common mistakes that happens out there over the road is misjudging turns.
Twisted.
You ever been out there and you're like, you know what, I gotta make this right turn, and you're not watching the mirror enough, and when you turn, you run over that curb. And that happened because you misjudged it. You might have turned too soon. If you turn too soon, those back tires are going to track over there and just run over the curb. A good way to prevent that from happening, if you're watching the mirror, you're seeing what's going on back there, and you're seeing that that trailer's coming for that turn. You can always turn the wheel away from it to pull it away from the curb some. So if you're not checking that mirror, and you're not watching the trailer movement, and you're not watching how it tracks, then you're just going to run over the curb and like nothing happened. Now, in some cities, in some large cities, major cities, stuff like that, there are street signs that are right on the edge of the road. There's telephone poles, all kinds of stuff that you could hit. When you're going to those shippers and receivers out there and you're not doing good trip planning, you're not zooming in on that map to look at the turns that you're going to be having to make on the way in there, then you can't do anything to prevent it. Once you get to that position where you're at that turn that you're all like, oh no, you're either going to have to back up some so you can use the other side of the road to make a ride into a shipper, or you're just going to be caught up in a major problem. And whatever, it could have been avoided by doing trip planning, using Google Maps on the satellite view, zooming in, looking at those turns, looking at how sharp they are. Sometimes it would have been a smarter idea to go up another street or turn a street earlier because it's an easier turn. Now, it might make you go around and go into it a different way than what you wanted to. Make sure that it's safe to do that. And, you can always turn your right turn into a left turn by going around a different way to come into that shipper from a different direction, because now your right turn has been turned into a left turn. And if you guys have some experience out there, you guys know left turns are a lot easier than right turns. I think one of the hardest things that we have to do as truck drivers is make turns. And you think that people coming out here with no experience, they might be like, man, driving that truck, that's going to be easy. The backing is where the problems is. I'm finding that more understanding of the turns is where people are really messing up. They don't understand how the turn needs to happen. Like I teach my guys, hey, you're gonna in the right turn, you're gonna be watching the mirror over here, and you're gonna wait till the tire gets up to where it curves, and you're gonna follow that curve around with the tire. That way, they're reacting to it. They're following it. If it needs to get closer to the curve, they turn a little bit more so it follows the shape of the curve. Now, if it's getting too close to it, we turn away from it because that does not continue the trailer to curve. It kind of slows down how much it's curving, allowing time to make it around. Now, in truck stops is where it becomes an issue for everybody. Everybody in the truck stops has one point had a close call, if not hit something in a truck stop. For the simple fact of the truck stop, you got the people that are, we call it bonus parking. One of my friends calls it pontoon parking and double pontoon parking. So, we're at the end from the very last spot, the one next to it, like there's not a spot there, but somebody makes a spot there. That's what we kind of call bonus parking. Now, my friend likes to call any spot after that pontoon parking. So he might be one pontoon parking, two pontoon parking, but they'll just make extra spots right there. Well, when you're in a truck stop and you're going through the truck stop, it has enough room to make the turn if there's no one parked like that. But if there's somebody parked like that and you don't go out and get all of that room to make that turn, it's a right turn, but you have to go out and get extra room to make that turn. Then you have a high chance of coming around and hitting something. You also got to think about these sharp turns because now you're dealing with the tail swing of the trailer. So tail swing of the trailer is where the back of the trailer, everything past the tandems. The tandems is where it pivots. So everything past that is called the tail swing. So if you have your tandems here and the back of your trailer sticks out this much further, that is the tail swing of the trailer. So whenever you get into a hard turn, the tail swing of the trailer comes around. So you take that hard right turn. You're going up and your truck's turning. And because you went out to get some extra room and then turn this way, aka jug handle, it's going to pivot more. And what's going to happen is the back of the trailer is going to come around, and if there's a car here, it's going to catch that car. It's going to hit that car and drag it around with it. We don't want to do that, and it happens a lot in truck stops. People turn too hard. You start sliding the tandems. The wheels don't actually turn no more because you're so far on the side of it, and that comes around and hits people. And it could have been prevented if we would have went into that turn better. Or like sometimes you'll be coming up to like a 2-lane road that's real narrow, that hey, I'm gonna have to use both sides of this road and everything I have to make this turn. But what you forget about is judging that, hey, is anyone coming down there? Can I safely make this turn without having any problems of somebody being in the way? Because the last thing you want to do is make that turn as a car's coming and a car stops in front of you. You stop too. You can't go nowhere because definitely can't back up. You can't continue making your turn because guess what? There's a car there now. So you're going to be like, hey, dude, you're going to have to back up. I can't back up, man. Like, back up so I can finish making my turn. And most of the time, cars understand that, and they do back up to allow you to make your turn. But you put yourself into that situation. Someday you're going to get that driver that in that vehicle that's going to be like, you know what? I ain't backing up. You shouldn't have went. I had the right of way, or whatever the case may be. You're causing a bunch of problems because you just simply didn't look down that road and make sure that it was safe to go. And then now you're in a bad situation. So make sure that the more you turn, number one, watch those mirrors, watch the tracking of the trailer, start learning what the trailer's doing and what happens when you turn the wheel. Especially when you're turning the wheel a lot, it's going to affect it a lot more. Left turns, you need to get all the room you can out of a left turn. You need to go, I call it making a T. You go straight out as far as you can to make that turn, and then you turn that wheel all the way and you make that turn. You should go out so far that when you make that left, you have to turn that wheel all the way. And then you unspin that wheel and trace the edge of that curb on the right side to stay as wide as you can. And then you watch that left mirror as it comes around the cars in the other lane. If it's going to hit something, you just stop, and they have to back up because you can't make that turn if they don't back up. So those left turns, if you get all that room 9 times out of 10, you will not have a problem. You won't come in a car's lane or nothing. But every once in a while, you'll find that one where you're like, stop. And you have to let the car back there. You'll be looking in your left mirror like, back up. And they finally back up, and then you can continue making that turn. And even to this day, none of us are perfect out there. Like I'm telling you right now, I probably, like when I'm over the road, I probably hit a curb maybe once every 2 months or so. Like even I misjudge curbs. So the thing is, you have to try to learn from every time you hit a curb. But the first thing you have to do is be able to watch those mirrors and see what's going on and realize that you're hitting the curb in the first place. If you don't realize you're hitting the curb, next time you might be hitting a stop sign, or say there's, people are walking around there. They're waiting on the light to change or whatever the case may be. Like you could get yourself in a big mess by misjudging turns. If y'all like these videos, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the merch shop. Make sure y'all are stopping by the merch shop. You never know when you might need a new hat like this one right here. Maybe a shirt. Show your support. Knowledge is power, and I'm out. Still enjoying the great content? Click that next video right there to keep yourself informed. Knowledge is power. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to every video. Also, make sure that you're dropping that referral code on that driver application, COXDJO.